Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here to talk about Gomez Calhoun. So, this is a very interesting character that did not get much screenplay on the show. He's kinda a recurring character who never really lasts that long in the show. For the most part, I guess you could probably say guest star or probably a day player. Like Miss Appleby in Power Rangers was considered a day play. You come in, you shoot one little scene, and then you go home just like that. What makes him very unique is that he's actually been in every season of Sliders except for the third. And what's even more unique is that he is the fifth Sliders character to be played by a completely different actor. It's very, very, very rare for that to happen. But then again, hey, like parallel dimensions, different parents, stuff like, oh no, wait, he is the sixth person to play by a completely different character. Because there were three, I think. Um, no, I'm right. Yeah, he's the fifth character. I'm thinking of something completely different. He's the fifth character. Quinn was played by two completely different people. His mom was played by three completely different people. His dad was played by three completely different people. His groundskeeper was played by two. And then we have Calhoun. And so, like, I don't really consider really Colin to be completely different, like, people, because he played, like, because, what's his name? Charlie played, like, different characters, but, you know what I'm saying. And so, like, I don't know, man. It's really weird because, like, I really didn't even think too much about this dude until somebody brought it up on my page. I have briefly talked about him in whatever season he appeared in. Like, he didn't even really appear in that many episodes. He appeared, I believe, in two episodes in the first season, one in the second, and then two in the fourth, and then one in the fifth. Now, what makes him even more special is his race. What exactly race is this dude? Like, okay, so when they first filmed this show, it was in Canada in the first two seasons. Canada, the home of maple syrup, Canadian bacon, and Trish Stratus. And so, like, at first glance, for so many years, I assumed he was white because I assumed Will Sasko, the dude who played him, was white. Will Sasko is more well known for Mad TV. I love Mad TV. I watched Mad TV decades before I ever watched SNL. And so, like, but Will actually isn't even white. He's Italian and everything. I didn't know that. And so, like, the name, like, Gomez Calhoun, like, when I think of the name Gomez, I think of Hispanic. When I think of Calhoun, I think of Italian for some reason. And so, like, but his race was never ever that explained. But then when you get into the fourth season, he is played by a completely different actor. I think the actor's name is Israel Jabba B or something like that. I can't pronounce his last name. And I'm not really 100% sure what race he is, but I looked it up online and it says Hispanic, so I'm going with that. And so, like, that's kind of crazy that they will get, like, first an Italian dude, then, like, I think I read Mexican for, like, the other guy. And it's kind of like, are there no Italians in California? I'm pretty sure there is. And so the thing about Calhoun, when it's the first two seasons, he was a really lovable character in my opinion. He was jolly, he was nice, he didn't really do anything to try to, like, upset people that much. When we first see him, he's in that one viral episode where it's like a plague, the Q virus. And he runs the hotel with his mother, and he is a neat freak because in that world, they are doing this epidemic. the Q virus. And so, like, he wants a nice, tidy place, and he assumed Wade was, like, sick with the Q virus, but Rembrandt and them was all like, oh, now she's just drunk. Can't hold her liquor. And so he was nice enough to let them stay. And then that's all we saw him in that episode. Then the next time we saw him was that episode where Rembrandt was like a huge rock and roll star, like Elvis. And we get a little bit more dialogue for him for the first time, where he's very excited to see the king. He's even singing Tears in My Fro. And so, like, he's just like staring at Rembrandt, just gazing at him and, like, talking about, the real king was taller, platform shoes and stuff like that. And then so we get he's like involved in one of the greatest scenes of them all. It's like where Rembrandt gets swarmed by a bunch of his fans. The professor tries to help him out, and then the professor comes back completely half naked. And then we get to hear the professor blur out one of his famous catchphrases, "You blistering idiot." Because Calhoun, he called up a bunch of he let the word out that Rembrandt, or at least who he thought was the real Rembrandt, or at least an imposter or whatever, is staying at the Dominion Hotel. And that really pissed the professor off. Now, he used to work at the Dominion Hotel in seasons 1 and 2 when it was in Canada. By season 3, they replaced him. No, I'm not even done with season 2 yet. Then in that mob episode where Rembrandt is like a detective and they don't know if he's like a dirty cop or working for the mob, we actually get the most we've ever got with Calhoun. He's working with some of the good people, I believe. And so then somebody ratted him out, and then he gets taken away either by like the cops or the mob or something like that. It's been a good while since I saw that episode. And I believe that is the last time we ever saw him. Or at least this version of him with the Will Sasko character. Then they replaced him with Diggs in the 3rd season. And then all of a sudden, I think the hotel was called either the Chandler or the I think it was the Chandler Hotel. It was that one episode where, what was it? There was 2 episodes he was in. That one I hate to death, of Quinn and Maggie create that bubble universe and they get to live out their lives. He was there. It was like a poor type world under like war and everything. And then there was the other episode where Colin had to marry this woman, and Quinn got separated from like everybody else. And that version of Calhoun in that episode is like really, 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 really rude and everything. I could not stand that version. I just wanted to like leap through the TV and just like pop him in the face. That dude got on my nerves and everything. He was just so rude for like no reason. And then I never knew what that dude's name was. Like never. For so many years, I did not know until I started doing this channel. And then I looked online. I'm all like, well, hold up. Gomez Calhoun. Wait, that's supposed to be Will Sasko. That ain't Will Sasko, and he's a completely different race. And so I was always baffled by that. I'm just kind of like, and it's like Quinn never said nothing. Rembrandt never said nothing. Nobody never said nothing. And then so he appears, I believe, again in the 5th season. I forget what he's doing. I think the Cro-Mags on that world or something like that. I try to block out season 5. And so he's in that episode. I don't know what he does, but yeah. So he's always been a very interesting, very fascinating, character who never had that much to do, who was just like a day player. But what made him so fascinating is that he's played by 2 completely different people in 2 completely different races.